doing another meeting for my book club. I'm doing a meeting for my book club.
Very good.
And this meeting for my book.
Don't step on this thing, Joe. Move back. Sit down. I'll beat you. I say you should sit down, Mary.
I look at. Look
Turn
at.
on.
Good evening, everyone. Can you confirm you can hear me? Good evening, everyone. Please, can someone confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can. I can. I don't know if the other can.
Okay, all right, beautiful. So while we are waiting for other guest speakers to come in and other participants to join the call, we really do not have so much time, on our side. We have to start the meeting immediately. So others can join the call. We have the meeting recorded, so they can always catch up with the conversation in the meeting. Thank you all for joining this call. Good evening, everyone. My name is Engineer Peteru Ogunbowale, and I'm delighted to be your moderator tonight. Welcome to this exciting and final section of our day 4 of the MBA Specialization Conversation Talk. We started this since last week, Sunday. We had the section on Sunday. We had another one on Monday. Yesterday was also an interesting section. Today rounds it up with the big finance guys. We have so much, big invited speakers in the house. But before I go into that, while we are waiting for others to join the call, we have Goodybest in the house. We have Gibbs, and then we have Prof, who will be handling this section for us. Let me quickly introduce Goodybest. She's the current welfare officer for the MBA executive. That's our welfare officer. She has really been doing a very wonderful job, I must say. Our interpersonal relationship skills is it's something that can be compared to none. I really like her. She's she's just good at what she does. So Goodybest, she works in the banking industry. She works at Benis Credit MFB. I don't know whether I pronounced that correctly. She's currently the head of SME marketing and business development. You see why we are bringing her on board. She's happily married, and one of her dislikes is that she says she doesn't like betrayal. Well, that's good. We also have another guest speaker in the house, Gibbs Ikekpolor. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but I'm sorry, apologies for that. He is currently the vice president for the full-time. He's a mechanical engineer by profession, and I think he has more details to share with us in the house. While we are waiting for Prof to join the call, I think we can start with both of them, and Prof can join and introduce Prof when he. Okay, Prof is also in the house. Oh, so Prof, I'm not sure Prof need any introduction. We all know Prof. Prof is the lead tutor or CEO of Brainance. He has HND in accounting, BS in finance, MSc in finance, PGD in education. He has ACA, and he has PhD view in finance. Prof has also been doing a wonderful job. He's good at what he does. I don't want to overstretch that. We have to just go straight into the section without taking much of our time. I don't know who wants to go first. Gibbs, we like to go first, then we take Goodybest, then Prof can now round up the section for us. Gibbs, can we have you on board? Or you want
having
Goodybest to go
Prof on.
first?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm just wondering why you want me to go first when you have Prof on ground. What am I going to say that Prof wouldn't say? So I would rather suggest that Prof goes on because he understands the nitty-gritty of this finance and the whole stuff more than we do. Because fine, he's been in the system, okay, he quite understands so much. We can come from our own experience being based on the fact that we just passed through the same process. So let Prof water the ground. It's a Prof for a reason. Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, okay, so I wanted to go in ascending order, that the best is reserved for the last. That is why I wanted you guys to go first. I will take Prof last. But then you want to do it in descending order, it's also fine. And Prof, they've given you the floor. Maybe you should go first.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Peter. Thank you for this great opportunity to talk about the finance specialization. Yes, I have just 15 minutes to discuss about the specialization. I'll start by saying we have 6 courses. We have 6 possible courses that you can register in finance specialization. We have investment and portfolio analysis. That is one. We have advanced corporate finance. That is the second one. We have management of financial institution. Call it management. Then we have marketing of financial services, which is marketing in finance. That is the fourth one. We have international business and finance. And lastly, we have international monetary relation. So those are the 6 possible or likely courses that you can register, which, based on what I said last week Sunday, you have the opportunity of registering a minimum of 4. And you can register as much as, you can do the whole 6. If you wish to, you can register 5. But for you to graduate, for you to meet up with the requirement of the program, you need to register at least 4 of those courses. You need to register 4 of those courses. And 3 of those courses, 3 of them involve calculation, which is investments, advanced corporate finance, and we also have some parts of international business finance. International business finance. These are the 3 core areas of finance specialization that are quantitative in nature. So for those that are sound in quantitative, I advise them to pick courses from that area. But if you know you are not strong, you are struggling with anything calculation, you are not that sound in it, I advise you can go for other courses. You can avoid those, especially investment and advanced corporate finance. You can go for those other 4: management, marketing, international relation, and international business. Then next thing you need to know is that these 2 of those courses will be handled by Professor Lowe as part of the lecturer. None of the courses will be handled by a single lecturer. At least you have at least 3 lecturers handling each of those courses. 3 lecturers handling each of those courses. Sometimes you may even have more than 3 lecturers, but at least you have 3 lecturers handling those courses. So Lowe, in addition to other lecturers, Abbas and co, we handle advanced corporate finance and investment. Professor Lowe will be the coordinator because I think he's the most senior among those lecturers that will be handling those 2 courses. So if you can avoid those courses, if you don't want to do any course that Lowe will handle, you can avoid those courses. But to me, I believe you cannot boast that you did finance UNILAG MBA without having knowledge of investment and portfolio analysis, and without having knowledge of corporate finance. I believe finance is not complete without those two courses. Even international business finance, or say international finance. These are the core finance courses. You want to learn more about investment. You want to know more how you can manage your investment, how you can manage risk, how you can analyze investment, how you can choose the most profitable investment opportunity, how you can allocate your resources. You go for investments, how you can form portfolio of investments, how you can minimize risk, how you can diversify your investment such that you minimize the risk without really affecting the return. These are the things you learn under investment and portfolio analysis. It's an interesting course, but to be sincere with you, it's the most difficult among those 6 courses. An interesting course, but it's the most difficult. The most difficult is the most complex. You also have corporate finance. Corporate finance, you've done part of it in year 1. In year 1, you did corporate finance, where you did topics like capital budgeting, majorly capital budgeting. Those are the things you learn under corporate finance, dividend policy. So corporate finance is an aspect of financial management that deals with how companies, how corporations, how they raise finance and how they allocate it, how they make their financial decisions, ranging from investment decision, dividend decision, and financing decision. So Loreto will be part of the lead lecturer in that course. Then we also have the international finance that deals with financing international businesses. International businesses, how you raise finance for international businesses, the best way to finance your international businesses, how to mitigate the risk involved in international business finance, the exchange rate risk, the currency conversion risk, different risk exposed by multinationals, international businesses that are involved in international business. So that is another core area in finance. Then we have the marketing. The marketing, I think marketing among all the courses is the lightest and easiest to pass. I have marketing of financial services, those that are in financial institutions. We have management of financial institutions. And lastly, we have business, international business relation. So among those 6 courses, you'll be required to do minimum of 4. And from experience and from what I've observed, just like I said, the most interesting and most difficult to pass among them is investments. But at this specialization level, to be frank with you, failure of a course is the chance of failure is very slim. The chance of failure is very slim. The way they design the program, once you get to specialization level, the chance of failing any course is very slim. So what we see as failure is when you don't have A or B. That is what we see as failure. Once your score fall below A or B, say you fail the course at this specialization level. But at specialization level, you are expected to have a minimum of D in any course you are doing. So if you have interest in any area of this finance, go for it. Go for it. Don't say you just want to do a course just to, no. If you know you need the knowledge, you have interest and you need the knowledge of investments and portfolio, you go for the course. you go for the course. The worst that can happen is that you may not have A there, but I assure you B or C is likely, it's highly possible in them. It's highly possible in them. So we have about at this specialization level, almost all the lecturers in finance will be involved in taking the course. They will introduce different lecturers that you've not seen before. Most of the lecturers, we have those that are still available, though some of them are retired. We have Olowe, which is the lead, the most senior in the department now. Olowe will be involved. We have Professor Oke. Professor Oke will also be involved in taking international business. We have Dr. Obademi. Is also a lecturer that will be involved in taking Dr. Abbas too. Dr. Abbas, which is the present head of department, will also be involved in taking you guys, those that will be doing finance. We have Dr. Ama and others. So they will, at least they will introduce almost all the lecturers to handle. So there is no cause for alarm. You'll be having at least 3 or 4 lecturers handling the course. So there is no single lecturer that can be in control of any course, even the so-called lower. They only have a fraction of the lecture. So we only have a fraction of the lecture, less than 50% or less than 30% of each lecture. You can do any course without fear of failure. Okay, so that is all. That is all I have for now. That is all I have to.
Thank you so much, Prof. You want to say something, Prof?
No, I say if I have any other information or if there is any question, you can put it forward on.
Okay, so we'll have a Q&A section after all the speakers have given us their insight. So Gibbs, can we have you now?
Okay, yes, we can. Good evening, everyone. Okay, Prof, I greet you, sir. Well done, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. Okay, yes, Prof has said like very, very key stuff about finance specialization. Let me just help by attaching the course code to those courses that Prof has mentioned. And
Gibbs, sorry, can you help us increase your volume a bit? Sorry about
I'm
that.
not a loudspeaker. Okay, let me try. Okay. So am I a bit audible now?
Yeah, I think you are better now, yes.
Okay, yes. So I was saying that let me just help by attaching the course code, okay, to the courses that Prof has actually highlighted. He spoke about investment analysis and portfolio management. That is obviously being championed by Professor Lowe. And that is in 811. In 811, in short, we were calling it Almighty 811, okay, because everything about that course is calculation. Every topic in that course is calculation. And then in 814, that is advanced corporate finance, advanced corporate finance. Those are, for me, actually, those are the 2 major calculation courses. And like Prof said, if you feel like if you don't have a good background calculation or your calculation skills are not sound, you should avoid those courses. However, just like he also said, you shouldn't avoid those courses because you're trying to run away from calculation courses. If those 2 courses are going to be relevant to whatever you want to pursue in the future or something you are already doing, okay, then perhaps you should just try and embrace them. Devote time to these courses, study them, do everything you can to pass. You understand? That is just my own encouragement. But if it is something that is not going to be relevant to you in the future, or it's not going to be relevant to whatever you have to do later or what you are doing right now, then fine. You can avoid the 2 of them, especially two of them especially. Yes, Professor Laura is not going to be the only course taking, I mean, the only lecturer taking those two courses. No single lecturer has the sole control over any of these specialization courses. Yeah, so you have at least 3 lecturers taking the courses. So the fear of failing because it's Professor Laura, and honestly, I still don't understand the whole anxiety and fear around this around Professor Laura. Like, I mean, I've come close and I discovered that he's not really what people say. You know, I have a contrary opinion about him ever since I became very close to him. So I really don't know. I think it's an impression that we always have, or the impression that is always given to us from the moment we get to NPC. You know, Professor Laura, no, this. So it has even made a lot of people to change their mind. A lot of people came to MBA UNILAG with the intention of specializing in finance. But then, maybe they started hearing those stuff about finance. They already started debating. Everybody started running that they want to get into trouble. So some people have had to change their career perspective because they were trying to avoid it. And Prof made a very fantastic point. He said, it's not like you're going to really fail. The least you can have is a B. But the knowledge is key for you at the end of the day for whatever you want to pursue. You understand? So I really don't think it's a good idea to avoid the course of the lower is the one considering the course and all of that. So then you have in 815, you have in 815 is management of financial institution. You also have in 824, which is international business finance, another very interesting course. Then you have in 839, that is international monetary relation. And then finally, in 842, marketing of financial services. Marketing of financial. Now, let me tell you guys, man, Finance Specialization has awesome lecturers, fantastic lecturers, I'm telling you, including the most dreaded Professor Laura. These lecturers are actually very, very, very fantastic. Very fantastic. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't know why you come to, I don't know why anyone will come to, like MBA, okay, and not specialize in finance. That for me is actually the best specialization, honestly speaking. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, well recognized. UNILAG MBA Finance Specialization is well recognized. But I will just speak about some of the. I don't know who the lecturers are going to be. I'll be taking you guys this time around. But one thing I'll just encourage everyone of you is take your assignment seriously. It forms part of your CV. The assignments are very, very key. And well, different lecturers with their style. Some will tell you write with your hand, some will tell you to type. But whatever you do, you should be presentable. Do something very, even if you won't be around when the lecture is going to take place, but immediately you hear that an assignment is given, try to get in touch with someone who can help you print and submit what you have. Always make sure you submit assignment. And then if Dr. Abbas happens to take you guys, if he gives you, if he will tell you, he give you AOC, ensure that at least one will come out in the exam, even if it's not the same figure or value. If he gives you an assignment, at least one is coming out in the exam. It makes it very easy for students to pass. So it's not left for you to work hard. As for Professor Laura's courses in 811, most especially, there are many formulas to get acquainted with. You need to really get acquainted with that. So you don't get to the exam and you've forgotten the formula. Where you're supposed to put W, you put P and PW, and that you to stabilize yourself. You already filled out the formula has been wrongly imputed. So please, if you're going to take 811, as a matter of fact, study it every day. Let it be every day stuff because others are studying la crème la porte, to be honest. All these 815, 839, 824, 840. But you see this 811 and 814, if you're going to keep them because you feel like it's going to be relevant to you later because of what you're doing or what you feel later, then you must study them every day because there are many things you need to master, okay, in those two courses. What else? Maybe your project. I mean, when it comes to project time, just pray that you're lucky to have very fantastic project supervisors. Yes, everyone of them cannot be the same, but there are some who are actually very, very fantastic. when it comes to football. I wish you guys the best, and I hope you get the best out of it. I get to say more, but I get more questions. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Gibbs. Tosin Onanu, guys, saw your hand has been raised for a long time. I was trying to
Yes.
reach you on the chat
Thank
box.
you.
But...
Can I
Okay,
speak?
Okay, you can go
Just
ahead.
quickly. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and thank you, Prof. Well, I'm a banker, and my core competence is
Oh,
in
sorry.
retail and commercial.
Sorry, Tosin, is it a question you want to ask now?
Yes, it's a question.
Okay, please, can we push your question to the Q&A section? Let's
Yes.
just have the
So I'm
last
trying
speaker talk.
to explore opportunities in investment banking. So my question is, which of these modules will professor recommend for me? Currently, my specialization is in retail and commercial banking. But I'm trying to explore opportunities in investment banking. So which of these modules will professor recommend for me? Thank you.
Mr. Peter.
So, Prof, do you want to attend the question now, or you want to take it after the last speaker has spoken?
Let's take it. We can take it after. Let's let the next speaker. Yes, we'll take it after.
Oh, okay. So, Goodybest, can we have you on board? Thank you so much for joining the call. Goodybest, can we have you on board? Share your own perspective to the finance specialization. Then we can go to the Q&A section proper. Goodybest, are you on this call?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, thank you.
Good evening, Prof. Good evening, Gibbs. My greetings to all the people that are already on the call. First of all, I want to confirm, Peter, are you in finance specialization? Are you specializing in finance?
I have not made that decision yet, Goodybest, and I don't know, but I don't think I'll be coming to finance, except if you are able to persuade me on this call that I should do finance.
I don't need to persuade you. You don't have an option. It's either is finance or nothing. I looked at it as basically, when you go over to specialization stage, you have the opportunity of being in all the platforms. You can be in as many specialization as you want. Maybe for the first 1 or 2 weeks, for you to understudy them, to see how things are done, what goes on there, and all that, which I had the opportunity of being in all the specialization. And at the end of the day, I was the one that made up my mind and said, I think this is the right place for me. So it is not, if I have my way, I'll tell everybody it's finance, for real. Going back to the courses we treated, I would just want to speak a little about just the lecturers. We've said a lot about the courses already. I would just say most of these courses, which is the recent one, the most recent curriculum we have now for our sets that just finished, and possibly for the new set, because the new coordinator has also circulated it, is 4 lecturers per course, except management of financial institution and international monetary relation. Others have 4 lecturers. Now, if you are the type that don't want to read a lot, I will advise you attend all the lectures, but during the exam, pick at least one topic and specialize on it. There is no way a question will not come from there. If I'm a lecturer, so when you're taking your lectures, be specific about what are the topics that this particular lecturer treated. If there are slides that the lecturer sent, save it on your laptop, save it on your phone, save it on your cloud, and be more intentional about the topic that each lecturer has treated. I like what most of you are doing, that during your classes, you record them and save them. And at the end of the day, you share the link. It's a very wonderful one. Maybe 1 week or 2 weeks to the exam, you can start listening to them all over again if you have the time. If not, pick 1 or 2 lecturers, study them very well. It's usually to answer 4 questions if it is 4 lecturers. It's usually to answer 4 questions, 6 to answer 4. So you have the opportunity of picking at least 1 question from each lecturer to answer from each session. So I would strongly suggest that if you don't want to read everything, maybe by the time it goes into this session and you see the textbook from management of financial institution, the textbook from of course, Olowe already sold textbook in year 1, so we're not buying a new one again. So, but most of them again are going to sell textbooks. So if you don't want to start going to read all of them, make sure you pick at least each topic from all the lecturers and prepare for your exam. So another thing I want to tell you that there will be room for you to buy textbooks. It is not compulsory, but it's necessary. As much as possible, patronize them for your own good. You know, the call is being recorded, so it's not everything we call it. It's not every time you call a speed a speed. So during your specialization, it's advisable to buy textbook. It's our way of encouraging those lecturers that we are reading the book. Most of the AOC that they will give it will also come from the textbook. So if you go back to your textbook, you eventually see everything there. Read it and prepare for your exam, and you have no issues in them. Basically, in all the courses, I've not had any lecturer that is that's difficult. Even prof, I don't see him as a difficult person. The only thing is that you have to pay more attention to follow up. If you are somebody that once you're done with the exam, you move on, you may not really work that way. So because he has a lot on his hands, he has a lot of people he's taking, you need to constantly follow up on him for the results. So I don't see him as someone that is too difficult. If you have lectures with him, send a reminder on time, do a follow-up, and sure, during the class, he may not really not join on time. Maybe the class was stated for 6, you might be seeing him join by 7, 8 at times. So the timing might not really work, but he will take out time to teach. And something that if you have any question, he can always draw him back and he will take you. So for my few months in finance specialization, I've not had to encounter issues about lecturers that are very difficult. Like I said, prof is not that difficult as far as I'm concerned, because it's just that follow-up that's the issue. One of our exam day, the day we wrote to investment, he did not even know we had exam that day. They called him by 3, we are waiting for you. So I say, waiting for who? So that was when they had to even start printing our questions. So by the time he got to school, it was already past 5. So something like that is just that constant follow-up and reminders you'll be doing. That's all. But there are no difficult lecturer in finance. And then lastly, I would say the courses we offer in finance are not difficult. Again, it's not something that needs to be strenuous, you need to stress yourself to read and all that. Some people that went to management, eventually when you are given a bunch of materials, at times some material is over 500 pages. You have to read everything to prepare for one subject, one course, aside others, but it's not like that in finance. It's more of numbers. It's more of figures. So you have limited materials to read and then a few calculations to make, and you're fine. So even if you're running away from calculation in all that, there are still some few calculations in dividends you will meet in international business. Just a few. So It's something that you can make up your mind that I want to do this. And this is what will help me basically maybe in your career path. But when it comes to being difficult, finance is not difficult. So the last thing I want to speak about is our timeline. If you're someone that has issue with timeline, you need to actually work on it so that you can be able to finish up on time. If you have, once you go into specialization and it's time for your project, I would advise, give it your time. If it's 1 month, give it your time. Don't procrastinate. Don't say, I will see February, March to do it. No, it's not, it doesn't work like that. Once you have gone into specialization and it's time for your project, start it on time, finish it on time, and let that be. So that you have time to read for your exam. Some of us that keep saying, we joined specialization around May this year. They'll say, June I'll start, July I'll start, August. By the time you started in August from chapter 1, by the time you see your lecturer 2 times, 3 times, we are in November, some people are still doing questionnaire. If you check your platforms, you'll be seeing questionnaire up and down. Questionnaire is just chapter 3. So, and this is people that have been in specialization since May this year. We started proper lectures, we started proper lectures and specialization. So give it your time. It might not be all, but please give it your time and conclude on time and focus on your reading so that when you're done with the exam, you can now graduate and dance and eat very well, not knowing that you're coming back again for project. It's something that can be held stressful. Even till today, some people are still calling me how to change supervisor. This is somebody that is supposed to graduate in January. He's asking for change of supervisor as of today, 23rd of November, 24th of November. So if you change supervisor, you're starting all over again. When would you want to finish? When do you want to graduate? So I suggest you give your time, you give it your time, and then you come out of it. And in finance specialization, we have a professional body that Prof just introduced to us recently. It's called CISI UK. It's an international body that covers all African countries and Europe. So you can always browse about them. You can always Google about them. It's CISI. It's just the way we have CIBN in Nigeria. This particular one is UK, and it covers a lot. It's a way too higher than CFA for people that are specializing in finance. So I would suggest and I will advise, if you can buy into it, it covers so many specializations as well. And it's an exam that you can register for today. You take out your time, prepare, go through the tutorials, go through the classes, and then write the exam anytime you like, anytime, any day. You just log into the portal, click on the exam, and log in and write your exam. So it's not something that they will say the exam is coming up in March, the exam is coming up in January. The exam is always there. Once you register, your exam is there. So you just have to register and then start going for lectures, start getting your materials and all that. Read on your own and then prepare for the exam. The day you're ready, you look at yourself and you feel you can, you log in, click on the exam and start writing. So I will encourage everybody that is going to be specializing in finance or not to make out time and write the exam, CISI. Prof is actually the one handling it in Nigeria, and the price of it is about 400 pounds. But because we are coming in as a student body, UNILAG as a student body, there was some discount that Prof was able to get. And I think the current price now for only UNILAG students is 250 pounds. So, and Lagos UNILAG Business School is also organizing some tutorial for people that want to do it. So I will advise, if you have time, you can go for it. Then lastly, if you have the opportunity, I would suggest you register for 1 or 2 tutorials. it helped us in one way or the other, because you might not really, except maybe you're not busy. I don't know how our schedules are in full time. Part-time, we are always busy. That's just the truth. So sometimes you're attending lectures, you're on your way back from work. Sometimes you just log in for the attendance so that they won't say only 10 people attended class. Therefore, there's no class today, and all that. So most times we log in on our way. So if you are not conversant with most of these lecturers, let me tell you, they are lecturers, they are not teachers. Even though it's their duty to teach you, but you should know that they cannot take you everything down the line to the letters. So you still have to read on your own. You still have to join 1 or 2 tutorials to prepare you ahead. If I tell you that some of the exams we enter hall, it is what we did over the night during our classes, exactly what we are going to see there. The people that did investment, the midnight classes they did during tutorial, the same question, there's no difference. Let me tell you, most of these lecturers, they repeat questions. There is no way you're going to run away from that. There's always a repetition of questions. So it was exactly the same question that was treated over the night that came out in the exam. So I will not roll out tutorials. Though the university does not recognize that, but on your own, you know your capacity, you know what you can take, you know if you are ready after the lecturers, after the lectures in the class, are you ready for the exam? If you're not ready, if you look at yourself and you feel you are not ready, please, my sister, my brother, you can reach out to any of these tutorials. I used brainers during my finance specialization. You can reach out to any of the tutorials and register with them. You can go for private classes. You can go for general classes. And I know that it helps. I can tell you, I did tutorial all my programs. So, and I have no reason to regret it to today, till tomorrow. I didn't have any carryover. I didn't have any bad results so far. So I'm not saying it's tutorial that will write my exam, but at least you will learn and gain 1 or 2 things from there that can help you in how to answer the questions and how to attend to them. These are people that have been there before us. So 1 or 2 things they can teach us will take us very far along the line. So I encourage you to read. I encourage you to prepare for your exam, and I also encourage you to attend tutorials if you can. It helps in its own way. So if you have any question, I'm open for questions.
Wow, Goodybest. Thank you so much for that insight. I was taking notes. You made so much silent point from your conversation, and I was even taking notes. Thank you so much for that, that perspective that you brought into this conversation. Thank you so much. So we want to move, straight into, or do any of the speakers, do you have anything you want to add before we move to the Q&A section? Prof, do you have anything you want to add? Gibbs, do you have anything you want to add to the conversation before we move to Q&A section? Prof, do you have an addition?
No.
Yeah, not really, not.
Okay, Gibbs, I didn't hear you. You said what?
Yes, I do not have anyone.
Okay, so we are now in the Q&A section. Tosin Onanuga asked the question the other time. Please, if you have any question, just use the raise hand, feature on the Zoom meeting. I will attend. I will take your. I'll ask you to ask your question at the time. Tosin Onanuga asked the question the other time. I'm not sure, Prof. Do you still remember our question, or do you want her to take the question again now that we are in the Q&A section?
Well, I still remember the question. I think she said presently she's in the banking industry, and she have intention of switching to investment banking. Presently, she's in commercial banking. I want to switch to investment banking. That what course will be relevant to this area of interest, investment banking? So what I would say is the investment banking is basically concerned with raising finance for companies, for government, for individuals. And for you to practice investment banking properly, you need almost all the, you need knowledge draw from almost all the 6 courses. But the most important ones are, I think you need knowledge from investments and portfolio analysis. You need knowledge from that. I would advise you take that course. You also take corporate finance. Because investment banking also involves corporate finance services. It also involves understanding investment properly. For you to raise finance for a company, for you to raise money for a company that want to invest the money, you have to understand the kind of investment, because the instrument of the capital that you raise for the firm is a function of the kind of investment they want to use the money for. If a company wants to embark on long-term investment and they need money for that, they need finance for that, you cannot be raising money for them using short-term instruments. It's dangerous. So you understand the investment so that you'll be able to know the kind of instrument to use to raise this capital of finance for the firm. So you need investment, you need the knowledge of investment, you must understand investment properly and different instruments or vehicles of investment. Corporate finance is very, very essential. You need the knowledge of corporate finance. I would advise you go for that. Then international business is also key. Because if you are raising capital for a company that is into international business, we also have instruments of capital, instruments of sourcing capital for businesses that are into international trade or international business. They also have specific instruments that can be used to raise capital for such firms. So you need to understand internal instruments of or sources of finance for businesses that are into international trade or international business. So those 3 courses are very, very key. Those 3 courses are very, very key to your line of career: corporate finance, investment, and portfolio analysis, and international business. Then you can pick any of already you are in the banking industry, you are in commercial banking, so you would have been familiar with management of financial institutions and marketing of financial services. I think those 2 additional ones also suffice. So in addition to those 3 courses, you can add management and marketing. But the first 3 I listed, investment is very key. The knowledge is very key, corporate finance and international business. It will really help your career in the line of investment banking. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Prof, for that response to that question. We have Aminu Abosade. You have your hand raised. Can you shoot? You can ask the question, please.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. To the speakers, thank you very much for the knowledge share. A quick one. I just wanted to ask that for people like me, coming from zero knowledge in finance field, so is it guaranteed for me to easily get a job after my MBA in finance sector? If I should major in finance, or do I have to acquire other certifications that to boost what I've already gotten? That's my question, please.
Okay, can I respond to that?
Yeah, Madam Goodybest.
Okay, in terms of career paths, I would say it's a career path is something that you need to build over time. And building a career path in finance is not just with your MBA. It depends on the area you want to grow. And saying, is it a guarantee you will get a job? It also depends in the sector you're looking for a job. So when it comes to banking sector, if you're coming in as an entry level, you will not be judged based on your MBA. You come into a particular department and you grow along the line. You grow your career over time. And if one of the major things that will be looked at is basically maybe your background, then the MBA, and then what you can offer. That is for entry level. And if you've been working over time, there is already an experience, you already have experience over time, and you want to shift from there to finance. Is it in what area? Is it in terms of finance as a department? Is it in terms of audits? Is it in terms of, when it comes to, I'm talking about banking now, most of us that work in the bank, you should know that finance is not just one particular department. Somebody that read finance can work in so many departments. So you have to decide, are you changing your career path as well after the MBA? So in that area now, you have to structure your CV maybe towards that and then apply. Then during the process, you can now introduce what you can offer based on your MBA finance, based on the experience you've had with your MBA finance. So it's not automatic that because I have MBA finance, I should enter the banking sector and become an MD, so to say. So career path is something quite different from MBA, but I can tell you that it's a step ahead. What somebody that does not have MBA, there are some particular sensitive positions they cannot occupy. Basically, even in the banking sector, at a point, you will be asked to go for another degree for you to grow to a certain position. So it is an edge for you to have an MBA now. Well, it's not an automation that because I have MBA, I should become the CFO or I should grow to this particular level. But when you have an MBA, it gives you an edge for you to apply for a higher role. And you will definitely be considered above people that still have just their first degree. So I don't know if that answers your question. If there is any other angle you want me to come, you can say it. But I'm speaking on the part of your career path, basically.
Aminu, are you satisfied with our response to your question? Or you...
Yes.
Okay, so do you have anybody with a question in the house?
It's fine.
Please use the raise your hand button on the Zoom feature. So, Prof, I have a question for you while we are waiting for other participants to ask their own question. So you being an academic, how do you see the gap between what is taught in MBA finance courses and the reward requirement? And how can students bridge this gap? Prof, I would like you to answer that question. I know you are a teacher and you've been doing this thing for a while. So as an academic like you, how do you see the gap between what is taught in MBA finance courses and the reward requirement? And how can students bridge this gap? That's my question for you, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Peter. Your question, how can you bridge the gap? And the question now is there any gap between what is taught in MBA finance program and what is obtainable out there?
In the reward, yes, exactly.
I don't think there is a much gap. I don't think there is a much gap. The thing is that most things that are taught in MBA programs can still be, they are applicable. In fact, they are the things you use out there. They are the things that are applied out there in the reward. I take a good example of using my wife as a case study. When she applied for a job, and she went for an interview. The interview is supposed to be 3 stages. Though initially said she's not doing finance, she's a medical person. I forced her that go for finance. The knowledge of finance will help you. She was skeptical, but at the end, she decided to do finance. So went for the interview and supposed to be 3 stages. But after the first stage, automatically they asked her to come and begin the job, while others will still pass through the second stage. And why is this so? Because of the help of the knowledge she had in finance. She was lucky. all the things she was demonstrating, the presentation she did that day, she was able to apply what she learned from the finance specialization classes. And the interview team, they were impressed. So they said no need for her to go through the other stages. And she was so happy. So there is no much gap between, if you actually understand what is actually taught in the program, you'll be able to apply it in the real world. Be able to apply it. But there is no much difference. There is no much difference. There is no much difference. So the gap is normal. It's only when you don't understand properly, that is when you will not know how to apply. But I strongly believe that everything that is taught in the MBA program are things that are obtainable out there. So once you understand it properly, you did not just cram it, the application will be easy. And once you start applying it there, you'll now appreciate it. You'll now appreciate it. I have a lot of people that have called that, in fact, this program have opened their eye to a lot of things that they don't understand in their place of work. So when they start doing the program, they will now start having that knowledge, start seeing reasons why so this and so is done this way. So there is no much difference. There is no much gap. I believe that the knowledge of what you gain here is still what is obtainable.
All right, so thank you so much, Prof, for your answer to that question. Well, I have another question for you. I know, many of the research work that students do nowadays, many of them are not really being scrutinized. Many of them are not really, they are not even thorough, so to say. At least I have first-hand experience with that. So you being a finance person, what are the key research areas in finance that students can employ that they can explore to contribute meaningfully to this field? What are the key research areas in finance that you feel students can explore to contribute meaningfully to this field?
When you come to research, the reason why students don't do proper research is because of the time factor. To be sincere with you, time. Research requires time and resources. If you say you want to do a proper research within the limited time involved, within the limited time you have, and given the fact that you'll be running your research, you'll be carrying your research with other academic work. It's not that you have a semester for just research, no. Your research work will be going on as your program is also going on. And most times, you don't have the time and the resources involved. That is why most students, they just put one or two things together and so that they can just graduate and go. So that is why it looks as if most research they do, they are not well scrutinized. But in the area of finance, we have emerging areas of finance that the student can also look at. We'll look at energy financing is an emerging area of finance that we also have areas of say cryptocurrency. These are new areas of finance. Is another area of finance that I imagine that we can also look at. We also have in international business, we have different areas of finance that are open, international business, that students can look at. In the area of corporate finance, we say corporate finance is saturated. Most research are done in the area of corporate finance. Most research so far that have been done are done in the area of corporate finance, ranging from maybe dividend policy, capital budgeting, and some other areas. Capital structure, leverage, the impact of leverage. These are common areas, the impact of capital structure on the performance of firm. We'll now talk about the different financing sources. Those are corporate finance areas, and we say those areas are saturated. Because they are saturated, we advise students to go in that area is because there will be enough data and literatures that will make your work easy. But when you want to delve into these new areas of finance, talk of the energy finance and the cryptocurrency, other forms of financing, these are areas that are alien to Nigeria, and data is very key. We don't have, our system is not designed in such a way that we don't have enough literatures and data stored in Nigeria. So once you want to research in those areas, just know that you'll be ready to work. You'll be ready to work. If the data is not available, you will not be able to do anything. So you have to be very careful in any area you are researching on. In any area you are researching on, you have to be you ensure that data and literature, enough literature will be available before you delve into that area. Otherwise, you will find it difficult. So that is why most times you advise students, why not go into those research areas where you have sufficient data so that the work can be easy for you, given the limited time and resources you have. Given the limited time and resources you have. Alumni do tell us a story then that he did his research, the MSc research he did when he was in his master for 6 years. Imagine somebody doing a research for 6 years. So you cannot compare that time and now. Investing 6 years of your time doing one research. You cannot be advising an MBA student to do research for 6 years. No, it doesn't make sense. So we'll just advise you to make something easy for you. Just pick a research area that you know that there is enough data, because data is all about, research is all about data and nothing more. So that is it. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. I saw Alabi Ismail hand is raised. I'm not sure if he's still on this call. I'll come back to you, Goodybest and Gibbs. I have some reserved questions for you. Alabi Ismail, can you shoot? Can you ask your question? Mr. Alabi Ismail, are you on this call? I saw your hand raised initially. Can you
Yes,
ask
I'm
a
here.
question?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Prof. Good evening, fellow colleagues. I appreciate
Good
the
evening.
knowledge you have been imparting all the while. We appreciate your time too. Please, I have an engineering background, like my co-colleagues, Peteru, and reason for going into finance, really for me, is because I'm just looking at while coming to UNILAG to take part in the MBA program. I really want to explore other options, not just fixated to this engineering background. So purposely, why I am going into finance is I'm looking at like project financing and the likes, and every other small knowledge that I could gather while I am choosing finance as my area of specialization. So I am now asking from the rest of erudites on the call currently, that apart from this my little knowledge on, because you want to do project financing, that's why you are going to finance. Is there anything like that can be of benefit for someone that is that has engineering background, or some other areas that one can benefit from finance as an engineering personnel? Thank you. Please, my question clear?
Yeah, your question is clear. I think you can also look at, in addition to project financing, you can also look at financial technology. Financial technology is another good area in finance. As someone that have engineering background can also look at. the fintech area is also very key that you can also look at. It will also help. So apart from that project financing, you can also look at that area too. It's also an aspect of finance.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prof.
let me also add to that. You can also consider financial engineering. That's another very important part. You can actually put your knowledge of engineering and finance you're going to get in the future. As financial engineering, I don't know if you guys know.
I got that, but boss, you are not clear enough. Oh. But I got that financial engineering. Thanks.
I was saying that since you have a background in engineering, okay, and you're looking forward to specializing in finance, you can consider financial engineering. In financial engineering, you can be able to analyze or forecast the market. Okay, so if that's the case, then you must take those two courses that are also taught by Professor Lawrence. That is in 811 and in 814. Those two courses will really help you if you consider financial engineering. You can read about it, read on it. It's also another course that you can actually take based on your engineering degree, and now you're specializing in finance.
So thank you so much, Gibbs. And
Thank
for
you so
those
much.
who just joined the call, please you can use the raise your hand button on the Zoom call. I will attend to your question. So while you're trying to do that, goodness, Chioma, I have a question for you. Do the best. I know you're a finance expert and you work in the banking industry. So I want to ask, what unique challenges did you face as the welfare officer managing finances? And how did your expertise in finance help resolve them? I know you're our current welfare officer. I'm asking, what are the challenges you have faced in managing the finances of the union, and how did your expertise in finance help resolve them?
I think the two positions are quite different. The financial, we have a financial secretary that manages finances of the association. I have no direct contact with the finances anyway. Basically, what concerns me is when we have a program, I do a proposal of what is expected, and it goes through auditing and streamlined down to the majors. So where the disbursements will be made to focus on just the majors. And because of my mental health and the stress and maybe what I do, I don't like getting directly involved. Most times I contract all these things. So I will just be on the supervisory angle, just to monitor and be sure that everyone is fine, make sure that everything is delivered at the right time, and that no unit is being stressed, no unit is being abandoned. So I've had the opportunity of organizing several events for the MBA students, and it's been rosy by God's grace. So, but in terms of association finances, is just basically not, I'm not directly involved in that. But in programs I organize, I would say I'm directly involved with finances that has to do with the events only. And I put out most of those things to people to handle while I manage it, and that's all. It's been easy for me, maybe because I don't want to carry everything on my head. I already have a lot outside MBA.
All right, good the best. Thank you. I have one more question for you before you go. What advice do you give to MBA students transitioning from academic to the corporate finance world? I know you've been in the banking industry for so many years. But what advice do you give to MBA students that are transitioning from this academic and MBA finance now to the corporate finance world? What advice do you have for them?
You mean coming into the corporate world?
Yes, corporate finance world, yes.
I will say it's a very good one, sincerely. I have no regret about being in the corporate world. maybe because I have not been a good teacher all my life, but if I had the opportunity of going into the class, I may not be the best teacher, so to say. So I would say corporate world is it's a world of its own, but it has to do with being determined. Whatever you want to do, you have to be determined about it, because the corporate world is all about the numbers. It's all about the value. There's no company, that's the way they used to say that nobody is indispensable. So there's no organization that would like to house you when you're not being productive. So one of the things you should make up your mind about is I have to bring in value to wherever I'm going. I have to be very productive. If you're somebody that is always absent-minded, you work on it. Definitely. If company keep losing values or keep losing money because of you, at the end, eventually, one day they will hit their jackpot and say, let's quickly do away with this person and move on. That's why you see that banks downsize. And some people stay in that bank for 30 years. The same bank that is downsizing every year. So they will only do away with people that feel that they are not getting values. So wherever, if you want to transition to the corporate world, is a very good one. You can grow your career as fast as possible. You can grow your finances. You can achieve your dream faster if only you can bring in value to wherever you're going. If you're transitioning into the corporate world as maybe in a figure-driven environment, in a figure-driven department, pray about it and be more intentional about bringing your figures. Be more intentional about pulling your figures. And believe me, the sky will be your starting point. I've seen people that join the banking sector, so to say, and within 3, 4, 6 months, they've gotten confirmed, they've been promoted. Why somebody has been in that position for 2 years, no go area. These are two different kind of people, and you judge them differently. So if you want to transition, first of all, examine yourself. Ask yourself, am I ready for the challenges that comes with it? Some people will tell you, I cannot work in the bank. It's their decision. I don't force it. I don't force anybody that open mouth and tell me I cannot work in the bank. I leave you. Because first thing you need to determine that I want to succeed in this industry. I know people that were teachers, primary school teachers, secondary school teachers. When we interview them and they want it one way or the other, we feel that we can give this person a trial. They tend to be the best. They tend to be the flying colors. You can easily use them for training. You can also use them for their job. So you see that the person already decided that I don't want to be in classroom anymore. I want to go over this, and they are enjoying it. So basic thing is advise yourself that I want to bring in value. I want to be very productive. I want to be timely. I want to do whatever I can do to succeed. Whatever other people are doing to succeed, I will need to do my own, and I need to put in my best to succeed. That's the basic decision I like the person to make. Then you will excel.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Goodybest. Thank you. Or do you have an addition, then something else you want to say?
No, I just wanted to find out if I answered the question correctly, or there are other areas you want me to cover.
No, you tried. You give an answer to that. So Gibbs, let me come to you as well, so that it doesn't look like I'm leaving you behind. Can you share a real-world example where you applied finance concepts to solve a complex challenge? Gibbs, that question is directed to you. Can you share a real-world example where you applied finance concepts to solve a complex challenge?
Okay, honestly, I wouldn't mind if you did it right, to be honest. I'm not sure what nice. Okay, so where
can you please be more audible so we can hear you clearly? Sorry about that. I know you're a gentle
okay,
speaker.
I said I wouldn't mind if you have left me behind, if you have left me on board and not give me any question at all. I wouldn't mind. Okay, can you hear me?
Actually struggle to hear you.
You're
I don't know if you can just
okay. I have my headphone on, so let me discard the headphone. Okay, Peter, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, I think you are better now. Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that I wouldn't mind if you had left me without any question. I hope I'm not even right, because
Yes, yes, you are now.
I really do not like to talk. Okay, so basically, where have I actually applied is yes. I wouldn't say I have actually applied finance on my job, because no, it hasn't really been the case. But what actually made me to specialize in finance is because before I came to UNILAG MBA, I'd always like to analyze the stock market, try to look at investment, I've actually been doing a lot of study on investment portfolio management. I just had interest in it since I started trading stocks and cryptocurrency. So that was actually what inspired me to specialize in finance. And since then, I've been able to apply the knowledge to trying to value a stock before I venture into it, trying to measure the risks or whatever how am I going to gain from this particular asset that I want to invest in. So it has really been very helpful since I took the finance basically, but I haven't applied it yet to my profession. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Peter.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much. I don't know whether Prof or Goodybest, I would like one of you to help me answer this question. Since Gibbs seems to want to shy away from questions. I would have asked him anyway, but I don't want to bother him anymore. Sorry, Gibbs. So I want to ask Goodybest specifically, I think you should answer this question. Do you have a mentor early in your finance career, and how did that relationship shape your journey? And how can MBA students find mentor in this field? Do you have a mentor early in your finance career? I know you work in the bank. And how did that help your journey? And how can MBA students find mentors in this field? Where do we get people to
Do you have what? I
mentors?
didn't get that. I didn't get that word.
Okay, what I'm saying is, you have a mentor early in your finance career.
Okay, mentor. Okay.
Yes. And how did that relationship shape your journey? And I'm asking another one again. How can MBA students find mentors in this field? Where do we get mentors from?
Said I don't want to be a marketer. Growing up, or maybe while in the school, I had that mindset that marketers in the bank, they sleep around to meet their targets, they do this one to meet their targets, and those things already affecting my mind. So I'm like, I don't want to go that route. So it's one of my mentors then that I spoke with when she was giving me jobs. And she actually puts me in the banking industry. I'm like, I don't want this kind of job, or I just want people I will sit down and attend to customer, pay them money, they go. I know that.
Goodybest, I'm not sure we can hear you. Can someone in the house confirm that they can hear Goodybest? But from my hand, I'm still not to hear anyone. Did they experience the same?
Saying from her too.
She has left the meeting.
Oh.
It could be a network glitch, I think.
Okay, so do we have anybody with a question in the house? Do we have anybody with a question in the house? So while we wait for Goodybest to come and join the meeting. So, Prof, I want to ask you the final question. Sorry. If you had 15 minutes with the hiring manager at the top finance firm, how would you pitch yourself to stand out? If you had 15 minutes with the hiring manager at the top finance firm, how would you pitch yourself to stand out?
Can you hear me?
Oh, Goodybest, welcome back. We lost you for some moments. I don't know whether if you can start all over again and turn to the question.
Okay, so I said I had that mindset that being a female banker in the marketing sector, that you have to do some lot of nasty things for you to meet your targets. And, it's not advisable for a young girl. So, but I had someone that was always encouraging me that it's not like that. At some point, I stayed over 6 months at home before I was able to convince myself to take up the job as a trial. And today, I will tell you, this has been the best decision of my life, and I couldn't function. I don't think I can function in any other department that is not marketing, so to say. So the growth was fast, the environment was very conducive, and those things that they were saying were not right. They were not right. You can actually get customers that can just want to do business with you, customers that can help you grow in your career. And it gives me opportunity to meet as many people as possible. I don't have to be caged. I can leave the office at any time. I can come back at any time. The figures are speaking. So it's somewhere you can grow rapidly. So I don't see it as not being the right thing. If I had not had a mentor, maybe till today, I will sit down one place and be saying, I don't want something that way. I just want somewhere to sit and be paying. And maybe by now, the growth would have been so, it wouldn't have been like that. So I want to say it categorically that it is always good to have a mentor, especially when it comes to your career, and have that relationship with the person, a mentor and mentee relationship. Before you make any decisions, consult the person, ask questions. In fact, when I left my first job to another one, I was on call with her for over 3 hours. The phone we called, she would call me back. We talked about it over and over and over. I keep giving her the reasons because she didn't see reasons why I should move. She was thinking maybe it's just because of the money, because the added social amount for you. That's why you want to run away. What are those things you think that you can benefit on? And all that. Eventually, I was able to convince her, and she stood by me. I didn't want to go that route without convincing her. So I can just say, me, I've told you, you are not the one that trained me in school. I'm leaving. But I didn't go that route. I had to convince her until today. She has never had any reason to regret approving that for me. So, and I've had people I put on the job as well. And one thing I will tell you is you have to be determined to do this work. And when they put in their mind to do it, you see them excelling. I've even forgotten. After some years, they'll be like, I came to your office the other day, you referred me to this place. I can't remember. So there are people that it's very important to have a mentor that will help you in your career. Maybe you might not really, you can have a mentor, you can have a role model. Me, I have role models. They might not really be my mentor in terms of I have to discuss my decisions with. My mentor is the only person I discuss my decisions with. Role model can just be somebody that you see that this person is excelling and I want to be like this person. Tomorrow I want to be the CFO. Get close to that CFO. Ask her questions. Ask him or her questions. How did you get to this place? What do you think I can do to get there? You know, from there you can learn. So they are not really your mentors, but these are your role models. This is what you want to be. This is how you want to. This is where you want to see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years. Ask questions from them. You know, learn from their experiences. Learn from the bad and the good and the ugly, and then make your decision. So I will not ruling out. It is very, very important to have a mentor when you are in the corporate world.
All right, thank you so much. Goodybest.
So I don't remember the second question.
I asked that where do we find mentors to coach us in this journey?
Mentors are basically in the same field where you are. I wouldn't be in academic and have a mentor in banking. How does it collide? How does it correlate? I think mentors are basically good when you have it in the same sector. You can have in other places, so we can have as many mentors as possible. It's not a must that it must be one person that should be your mentor. We can have as many as possible, but I will suggest that at least you should have someone within the sector where you play on. If I'm an engineer, I should have a senior engineer that's my mentor that I look up to, that I ask questions, that can relate with you. As a banker, I should have a senior banking officer that can be my friend, that can be a mentor. If I want to if the person is an engineer, I'll call and say, I want to leave this job from year to year. You say, they pay you well, go. This
All
Nigeria
right,
is hard.
sorry, Goodybest, I might have to
But a
cut
mentor
it
will not just
short.
think about them.
All right, thank you so much, Goodybest. We have little time to spend. Prof, I asked you a question. Do I have to ask it again, or should I ask the question again, or you got the question the first time?
Yeah. You can please ask it again, please.
So I said, if you had 15 minutes with a hiring manager at a top finance firm, how would you pitch yourself to stand out? If you have just 15 minutes, maybe you are doing an elevator pitch with the hiring manager at the top finance firm, how would you pitch yourself to stand out? What do you have to tell the hiring manager that you are the best? Being a finance guy. I think Prof is trying to find answer to that question. So do you have anybody with a question in the house before we end the section? Is there anyone with a question before we call it a day? Prof, are you taking that question or something you need to say maybe privately and we have that conversation?
Okay, I said, okay, I've been talking before, sir. I never knew that I muted. Okay, I said you first of all sell out your skill and what you have, the skill you have and the talent you have first. Let the hiring manager know what you have, the skills you have. Believe everybody have skills. We have something that we love doing. So you let the hiring manager know what you can do, the skills you have. For example, I as a person, I'm somebody that enjoy anything that is quantitative. If there's any problem, how ability to solve the problem quantitatively is my one area of strength I have. So you let the person know that you have this skill, you have this talent. That is the first thing. Also let the hiring manager know that you have an open mind, that you are coming in here for growth. You have that growth mindset. You have that growth mindset. And secondly, you are open to learning. You are open to learning. You are open to new knowledge. You are open to new knowledge. Yeah, so you let them know about these skills and talents you have. You are someone that is open to learn at any time. You are someone that can ask questions on areas that that is not clear to you. So let them know these skills, let them know these abilities you have. And I think with that, we'll be good to go.
All right, thank you so much, Prof, for that response. Thank you so much. All our guest speakers, thank you so much. It's really been a wonderful and interesting section. Thank you so much, Gibbs. Your insights, your perspective was wonderful. Thank you so much. Goodybest. Your contribution was awesome, Prof. You did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Your contribution has been enriching and our understanding has been enriched in our understanding of finance. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this call. It's really been a powerful one. Thank you for those who ask questions. We really, really appreciate you make the conversation so engaging and interacting. Thank you so much. I want to use this opportunity to tell all our participants that we have an upcoming conversation on project writing, in which we will also have a conversation like this. Thank you, everybody, for joining this call. Thank you so much. We are bringing this section to a close, and I'm even happy that we are rounding up today. Thank you so much. Alabi Ismail, thank you for joining this call. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Sandra. I see you. Aziza, thank you for joining this call. Reolua, Aminu, Yakungbola, Tiana, thank you for coming. Emu, I don't know who Emu is. Thank you so much for joining. We are bringing this section to a close. Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a wonderful night rest. Thank you all.